So, good evening, everyone. Jose J. Garcia, real estate investor, coach, and mentor. So, we got another Tuesday. Let's do deals, pitching deals. So, it is overload of deals. It is overload of deals, but it's all, the focus is not so much intake. All the deals are coming in. It's one thing when you're bringing in the deals and it's like you're wholesaling them off, you're flipping them, that's one thing. But when you're keeping, you're holding on to them, now there's so much more responsibility in a good way. But you got contractors, handymen, permits, inspections, electricians, all these things are happening. So it's like, focus, it's multitask is what has to happen. So we are doing a lot more rehabs today than probably ever before. We got a big goal to meet. I hope all of you have certain goals to make, whether it's one mobile home a month, maybe one. I don't want to say one every 6 months because it does not take that long to rehab a mobile home and put it out on the market. So, and we got a lot of student investors, that are currently taking action, and some of them are doing phenomenal. So, it all depends on how much action you want to take, really. But deals, we'll talk about a couple of deals I'm working on as well. We uploaded quite a few deals on the spreadsheet. Also, I always tell you if you do not have access to that sheet, just send us an email. I can share it here in a second, and we'll share it with you. I don't go through every one of these deals on this call. We would be here all night, so that's not going to happen. But I'm going to jump right on into one of them and making. Now we went over this one slightly last week, but I was not able to enter the mobile home. It was rather muddy, nasty, pouring rain, etc. So I was not going to slip and slide and get in, hopefully make it into the mobile home. So we did postpone until this morning where we visited the mobile home and were able to do a full thorough walkthrough. So all in all, checks out solid home. The best investments, don't forget, are 3-2, 3 bedroom, 2 bath, single wide. Well, that's what this is. It's a 3 bedroom, 2 bath. And we actually just sold the home right next to it to one of our investors, investor partners, also a student who sold his for 25,000. Okay, so the numbers are there. The numbers are there. We also have lot 13 right up the hill that's now pending as of now. That's going to be a lease option and it's going to be selling for 21K. So the numbers are there. You got to pay attention to the market numbers. I have some investors that are now reaching out to us again, two from New Jersey, one from California. So I love that we're definitely spread throughout. That's great to, but trying to get them to understand the numbers could be a little difficult because, different markets. I'll say that different markets. So, but this one here, let's go over it real quick. So it's a 3 bedroom, 2 bath. It's actually lot number one. Lot rent in this community, very small community. It's a $330. It does include water and trash. The rental rate in this market we're seeing for a 3-2 is at least $800, and of course everything around it is steady going up. So that to us just means we get to also bump it up. We're always on the market, but just something to keep in mind. We are asking 10K or best offer. Now we didn't put an ARV on this one here, but I would say back at the 25,000. So it's a mess. This person actually was the unfortunate one of the ones that needed to be evicted. We ended up coming to terms. They left, but they still left a mess. But it all kind of worked out in the end. No harm, no foul per se on their end anyway. But overall, what you're seeing on the inside is, typical cleanup. This doesn't just happen. I mean, if you live like this, OMG, right? But it's you take a bag and you basically let it loose. Malicious is what it is. These are the kind of things you have to realize that it kind of comes hand in hand. When you evict anybody, you're the bad guy. You're the bad person, no matter how you put it. Okay. But overall, there is a lot of material inside the mobile home, a lot of material that I really don't know what they were going to do with it because it's not needed inside the mobile home, but a lot of sheetrock sheets and a lot of plywood left behind. Now, this room has been considered what's called gutted. Obviously, needs to be re-insulated and put new sheetrock back up, but no damages that I could see other than just it was taken apart. Okay. Hallway, you can see the walls. Yes. Okay. Again, one of those things that this does not just happen. You got to maliciously be wanting to do something like that. And, at the time of we came to agreement, we didn't go do a due diligence. Most times when it comes to that, it's stay away. If you can come to terms agreements or if you are going to, come within the premises and meet with the residents, I would say definitely have some type of somebody to witness, what may be. But here we go. So that's the back bedroom. And again, overall, what I'm seeing is a lot of TLC. There is no damages with the electrical here. Plumbing is fine. It's got a pitched roof, shingle roof. There is no leaks, as you can see the ceilings on the pictures. I'll zoom out just a little bit as well. But overall, everything is there. So Nothing major that I'm seeing on here. We got two crews going not too far from them. So if this one's still staying within next week, staying on this spreadsheet, we will most likely jump on it and create another lease option. So, I'm paying more and more attention to these lot rents. When I talk about all these numbers, the markets, the nets, the profits, you got to keep in mind not just today, but one of the main questions that we ask any community, especially new community park operators that we're doing business with, is how much is lot rent? I want to know what lot rent is, and I want to know when is the last time lot rent got increased, because I also need to know when is the next time lot rent is going to increase. You got to remember, inflation is happening all the time. And if our numbers for saying the rental rates are not going up, but lot rents are, then your nets are diminishing. We started, One Robbins, Central Georgia. Beautiful community, no doubt. Love it. I mean, I would say it is as close to an A park in Georgia as they can be. Just massive, beautiful. It looks like a subdivision. But when we started investing in the community, it was 250 a lot rent. From 250, it went up to 275. It went up to 300, and it was gradually. I mean, this was very quickly, if you will. Every 6 months, that seemed like they were tacking on, tacking on. Today, that same community is at 450 a month. Now, the rental rates are obviously going up as well, but they have not kept up with what they are doing from their side. So that means that when we were collecting 600%, now it's down to 500. Now it's down to 400. Now you see how you're starting to lose those revenues. So you got to pay attention to that. And anywhere where you can do business, negotiate with park operators, because remember, as an investor, you're adding value. You just got to realize that. It's a partnership. And the way I talk to these park operators, it's like we're partners in this. At any given time, when obviously things don't work out, the beautiful thing about mobile homes, it's their mobile. I'll move it out of here. We'll take it somewhere else. No harm, no foul. All plays out, right? So that being said, is if I can lock up 2 or 3 years as to my lot rent will not increase, but I will also not move the mobile home within 2 or 3 years. Those are areas where you can start negotiating. Obviously, keep your profits a certain way. Even better. Albany, Georgia, we locked multiple mobile homes at 250. That's been 3 years ago. And the rental rates have steady gone up. So where we were collecting 675 went up to 700. Now we're up to $800 a month what we're charging, but the lot rent has stayed the same. So that's a beautiful opposite. Okay, our revenue is increasing. That's what you want to do. Anyway, let me go to the next one. Okay, we got. I know this is not going to last, and this is a terrible picture, but that's all I could get. Yes, me, myself, and I went out there. I took this photo. I reviewed the community, the area, and for all that it is, it checks out. But what this is, a half of an acre, it's 0.58 acre of land. It is zoned for mobile homes. As a matter of fact, the majority of what's around it, it's double wides. There's a few houses, a couple single wides I saw, newer model single wides, but it's more like almost like a subdivision of mobiles. Okay. It's not a community park. I've been asked that multiple times today. No, it's not inside a park. It's not considered a park. It's also not considered commercial. This is private lot real estate, if you will. You can build a house on it or you can bring a mobile home to it. So it's located in Covington. It already has septic and it has electrical because it did once upon a time have a double wide, which I don't know if you can see, but that is the remaining of the chassis, what was left there. When you start having so much land, so many homes, so much business that you forget that you own something, I say you've made it. And that's exactly what happened with this park operator that reached out to us. We've done a lot of business, great, great guy. But apparently he got hit with some taxes that he apparently had missed. I don't want to tell his business, but that's how he realized, oh, I own a piece of property over there. I forgot about this. So years have gone by. He gets hit with the bill and it reminded that, hey, you own property over here, per se. Needless to say, he reached out to us and say, look, I've done nothing in 2 years with it. I'm not going to do anything with it at this time. My goal is another 2 parks, not pieces of land anyway. So that being said, let's put it on the market and let's see what we can do with it. But, his loss is our gain. That's the way I see it. Opportunities for this. Here's things that you can do, things that I may end up doing. Depends if we get so many rehabs going, I may embark in this as well. Half of an acre. Now we need to get specifics. We do have a few calls. We've sent some emails. We are waiting some responses from the building department, all this kind of things. It already has a septic and electrical. Now I'm not going to go too into coaching mode at this time, but basically if the septic is X amount of years too old, if it hasn't been used, they can say, hey, you got to replace that. So those are expenses that, again, I'm thinking from a standpoint of numbers. I want to add up worst case scenario, best case scenario, and most likely. Once I end up with those numbers, I want to then work backwards. Okay. My total all in is going to be around 50,000. That's an example. Okay. That includes the land. That includes me cleaning up the land. That includes bringing another use home, doing some rehab to it, setting it up, permits, inspections. You can see all these things start adding up. But my final number, once I allocate all the above, 50,000. Okay. Now you got a set number. Worst case scenario, 60,000. Okay. Best case, 40,000. So you see where your numbers are at. But now let's do some browsing through the community, through the area, and let's see what the comparables are coming back. The comparables that I've seen so far based on what we can bring, because again, there's no mobile home here. Now you could build onto the chassis. I would not be keen to that. I would say get rid of that and bring another one. But if I would say I would bring probably a 16 by 80, which is around 1,200 square footage, single wide. I don't want to bring a double wide because I don't think I can get so much more for that. And it's double the cost of everything with the double wide. That being said, on a 3.2, 1,200 square footage in this area, I'm seeing around 100 to 120,000. So that's my comparables. That's what I can resell for if I bring this mobile home, make it livable, presentable, and don't forget, if you bring a mobile home onto a piece of land and you detitle it, means you make it part of the real property. Now you've converted it into real estate. What does that mean? One, you increase the value of the mobile home. Two, you now have created the ability to get traditional lending. So now you can finance, you can still be the bank, be the owner financing to whoever you sell, or you can say, nope, I don't finance. You got to go get your own lending. But now there's traditional lending for it. So that's, perks. There's all kinds of things. You can take the same thing that I'm talking about and bring a mobile home. Let's say you bring a mobile home and you just rent it out for a while. After a while, I don't know, a year, 2 years, you want to then convert into a lease option. But I don't want to sell the land yet. Funny thing about land is they're not making any more. So you might want to hold on to so much at one point. I will do a lease option on the mobile home like we do inside of a community, 25,000, 30,000, whatever it may be. Don't forget mobile homes and individual piece of properties, even if they don't include, means that land actually comes with it, but they're not inside of a community, sell for more. What I can sell, single wide 3.2 inside of a community for 20K, I can sell that exact same home for 30,000 on its own land. Why? Privacy. People love privacy, right? So do a seller financing on the mobile home for, I don't know, 5, 7 years, and then keep the land for another 2, 3 years and treat it like a mobile home park. Now you're just renting the land to them. So the owner, once they pay you off, they got to continue to pay, I don't know, $300, $400, $500 a month for lot rent. 3, 4, 5 years go down the road, you see how you're making all this money, making profits, but you're also offering opportunities. After I'm sick and tired of this, now I'll go ahead and sell the land. And guess what? I'm going to do seller financing. Let's do a lease option on the land as well. You're going to multiply. And this is the beautiful numbers. Okay. So rinse, repeat, you keep doing over and over. So if anybody's interested in this, I know I went long on that one. That's typical for me to go into coaching mode. So Loganville, Georgia. I have not invested near my area. I was thinking about that earlier. It's like, I invest in South Carolina, North Carolina. Zooming in. Hang on. There we go. All kinds of states. And we're growing. We're embarking in more cities, counties, states. And I sit there and think, there is moles all around me. At one point you stop to think, it's like, am I really maximizing every market, every niche, every area? Most likely not. That's just the way that it goes. So, park operators that I've done business with in the past, the connection, the network is there. They call me. If nothing more, advice, connections, whatever. It's always something. This specific park operator, which is actually the exact same one that owns that piece of land. Okay. So now this home could not go there, by the way, because I do know that it requires at least 1,200 square footage, which it would need a 16 by 80. 14 by 66 is too small. Part of the rural regulation restriction, it will not allow it. Even though everything else checks out, pitch roof, vinyl siding, etc., it's not big enough, right? So, but anyway, this one here is in Loganville, which is minutes from my actual personal home, from my actual headquarters, GMHU. So, but anyway, 2 bedroom, 2 bath, single wide. This one is asking 14K. It needs minimal to nothing. Here is another one. I mean, we're talking a 2000 model, just give or take. It's a 99 Fleetwood. It comes with all the appliances, a washer, dryer, a stove, a fridge. I think I saw a microwave. I don't know. We can buy an easy microwave, right? But this is what it looks like. solid unit. And what this park operator wants to do is he is on the verge of buying brand new single wides. More, the single wides that look more like a tiny house. I still find those a little interesting, I guess. Still a mobile home, but they want to treat them as something different. So, master bedroom closet, of course, is walk-in. Yes, that would be the water heater behind that small door looking. And then here is a picture of the outside. So again, beautiful home, single wide, vinyl siding. Uh, Everything is there. I mean, if it was a 16 by 80, this would definitely be something that we can move into that piece of property and potentially make the package worth talking about. But let me see. I think I was going to show y'all one more. And no, I'm not going to show you. I showed y'all this one last week. So this, okay, here's another one. Perfect example. Okay, that's exactly what I'm talking about. This one here is selling for, we don't have a price on it. GMH, you didn't put a price on. I would say probably 6,000 to 7,000 is what we're asking for this one. Now, this one is a single wide 2 bedroom, 2 bath. I remember this from a few weeks ago, and it's on private property. So again, okay, think about selling now. So I'm selling this same type of mobile home, and from an investor standpoint, would I rather invest in a community or on private piece of property, even if I don't own the piece of property? Of course, in a piece of property because it's more personal, it's more private, and people will pay more. So this same 2 bedroom, 2 bath in the area, Byron, Georgia, which is south of Warner Robins, 22,000 is probably what I would sell for. Out here, 26, 27. Okay. Big lot, big area. A lot of people ask, how big is the yard? It's big enough. Okay. Big front and back. You got plenty of space for pets, and you don't have to deal with the rule regulation specifics. So a lot of these parks in Warner Robins do have no dogs. You can't have this, all that. So you don't have to deal with all that because, again, you're individually out there. So check those out. All right. I'm going to turn the camera over, and I got a couple announcements. Yes, let's see. All right, so I put on the chat on here, and I realized that when I put stuff on the chat, it does not make it where you can just click. So I don't know if that's something Instagram is working on, because typically when I put stuff on the chat, I kind of want to make it where it's a website or a link people can just click, nice and easy. But it doesn't work that way. So one of the links that I put at this time, we have only 3 spots left for April 15th. People are actually lagging on this one. I figured this one would already be booked, but maybe just something different. April 15th is the event where we're going to be talking about extended stay with using campers. There's also a mobile home there that we'll probably do a tour on because we'll probably convert that into it as well, being right next door. But things that we're trying to figure out at this point. The campers, they can be a headache. And this is why I like coaching on things I'm doing. I don't like to read from a book or teach you from what I've heard. Okay. I want to experience and experience the troubles because that's what teaches us and grows us. It is definitely time consuming trying to set them up, not as much as a mobile home, nowhere near as much as a mobile home, but it's a lot of little tedious things that go hand in hand with it. Connect this, power this, connect that over there. It's just like a lot of moving parts. So it's definitely a lot more hands on. Handyman contractors are out there, so that's a beautiful thing. I'm not doing this by myself, but it's trying to set them up. So it's a lot of learning little curves that we got to really structure in there. And that's what we're going to go through on April 15th. It's not just the lease agreements, the legal side of it, but also a lot of the way the campers work, because you have to be able to operate them. As an extended stay, you're relying on reviews as well. If you go out there and you don't have power for a week and you rent it for a week, this is not a good review. There's something wrong with that. You are a landlord on demand. So we're going to be covering a lot of things out there April 15th. That is in Griffin, Georgia. Only 3 spots available. Now, plenty of virtuals. We are going to do the event virtuals. I know quite a few of you have signed up for that. Plenty fine. More people can sign on that one. But, somebody said one time, I forgot which coach said, you can't really truly experience Hawaii unless you feel the breeze. And that made sense a lot because it's like you can learn so many things from a book, from a computer, but unless you're actually there in action, it's a little different learning. So got that coming up. Now, I have sent earlier, we sent a mass email. And this is where if y'all didn't see our call on Saturday, I think it was Saturday at 12 o'clock with Jason Shirley, who is a park operator, park owner, real estate investor. He invests in all kinds of creative passive income assets. We're going to have a call on March 29th. That's next Wednesday at 7 p.m. It's going to be on Zoom, back on Zoom, right? And we're going to have as many people as want to join us, but it's going to be a way that he went from what he calls rags to riches, from zero to a millionaire, how he created passive income. And like he told me earlier, is I don't want to come on to this like a podcast. I don't want to talk about my success, my troubles, and then leave everybody behind wondering how they can do the same. He actually wants to cover his blueprint and go step by step. Let me stop sharing. I'm still sharing on the background. I'm paying attention to you too, Instagram, but there we go. I've been sharing the background, the deal. So he wants to come on and really cover that. Now, anybody who is interested in that, there's not going to be any RSVP. We'll have another call after the fact, maybe on something more coaching, direct specifics. But if anybody's interested in, everybody should be interested. Who's not interested in learning how to create just one more avenue to passive income, right? I'm going to be there. I'm the host, so I got to be there. I'm going to be there. March 29th. Okay. We've sent the email. If you did not get that email, I'm going to go ahead and put my email on here. Send me an email and request that link. That link has already been made. Like I said, a lot of people have already gotten it, but those that join and join us sooner are going to have access to something even greater. So you got to stay, I'm going to leave anything more to March 29th. But all right. That does it for this evening. Saturday morning, we have a check-in call, of course. And then Sunday's going to be a good coaching. There's a lot of people emailing us about numbers, specifics, and I want to cover a lot of difference, and we didn't dig into this as much on the last coaching, I realized. And that's where I want to put side by side rentals, rent to owns, lease options, Airbnbs. And I want to show you pros and cons. Here's why you would do this. Here's what you got to watch out if you do this, and kind of, put them differences so that you can see numbers, because that's how really, things actually make sense. But all right, thank you all for joining me this evening. Again, GarciaMHU.com. Send us an email, j@GarciaMHU.com. March 29th. You do not want to miss March 29th. We'll look forward to seeing you all there. Thank you for watching.